On April 29, Dutchem organized the graduation ceremony of the Orange Academy. The event took place at the Pullman Hotel Villa Olympia in São Paulo. Before officially graduating, 5 groups had to present their final project to a jury composed of representatives of the corporate, diplomatic and academical world, an NGO and a member of Global Compact. Via live connection, Mr. Ansgar Richter, the Dean of the Rotterdam School of Management, already congratulated all talents with the successful completion of the academy and invited the winning team to visit their campus in Rotterdam. The groups presented their projects after having completed an 8-week program fully focused on young, talented professionals who are currently working in the Dutch business community in Brazil. Talents selected internally by their own company have been invited for this exclusive program of sharing, learning and growing. In total, 8 sessions on different topics such as diversity and inclusion, sustainability, new company culture and personal branding have been presented by top professors of the Erasmus University and some of the senior business leaders. All of it preparing the leaders of tomorrow with a touch of the Netherlands. During the 8 weeks, the talents had to go and work in small groups on the case 2022, a project around the 17 Sustainability Development Goals, the SDGs.
So, I will present you the video.
In 2021, Brazil was responsible for producing 82.5 million tons of waste, an increment of 4% when compared to 2020, and a much higher increase when compared to the last 5 years. On the other hand, the number of people involved in the process of collecting and processing this waste has not grown at the same rate, making it impossible to remove and handle it completely and properly. In addition, it is estimated that 85% of vegetable production is wasted, and the distance between who produces and who consumes it generates high environmental impact due to the increase of waste production and pollution generated by transportation.
Why this project is sustainable? Because as you can see in this screen, we are including a lot of topics that involve people, planet, and when we are talking about profit, despite it's not expected to generate extra revenue because it will not be the core business for the companies, we are expecting a break-even point. What about the implementation? So this project is simple, practical, and implementable. When we are talking about the education part, we just need to select the employees and train them to take over the project and to be the project owner. They will teach the other guys involved in this project. It can be done inside the companies or in partnership with local schools. The classes frequency will be determined according to the number of people involved in this project. And we will take into account the availability of the children because they are important in this project. They will change the future world. And other Brazilian institutional organizations could be involved, such as recyclers, water treatment companies. So it's simple, practical, and implementable. What about investments? It is one of the strongest points of these projects. As you can see, it's not expensive. And the most important thing, it works for all company size. So you can implement it since 3 models until 2,000 props. It is implementable using underused structures inside the companies. And just a final message, the good quality education is a seed that we will plant, cultivate, to harvest in the future a sustainable community, creating a responsible change for the future generation. Opa, sem som de novo.
Opa!
So guys, let's make it happen. Now I would like to thank you and invite you to use your cell phone to scan this QR code that you will find inside your bags. We prepared some ecological bags for you. And this QR code was produced using recycled paper, and it reduced 90% of bond paper usage. Just to show you that the difference can start with us right now. Okay? Thank you, and that's our project.
Thank you, Caio.
And afterwards, the girls will be available to answer any question you have related to our project. The name of the project is Live for Learning, because we believe that, as the same purpose before us, education is the key to achieve our objectives here. Before explaining our project, we understand it is important to bring some relevant information that give us what we want to know to define our project. Did you know that Brazil is one of the most unequal countries in the world? According to the Gini Index, that is a measure of the distribution of income across the population, Brazil is the 8th most unequal country in the world. That was shocking for us. And an example of this is this: in 2019, the richest 1% of Brazilian population earned 33.57 times more than the poorest 50% of the population. So it's a huge difference. And according to another index, the Human Development Index, that evaluates the three key dimensions of human development, that is health, education, and standard of living, Brazil is placed today in the 84th position of 189 countries. So we all concluded that this is a situation that we had to do something. That it's the main issue we should treat in our project. To have this in mind, we define 3 guidelines to construct our project. The first one is to find a way to contribute to reduce the inequalities in Brazil. So how can we do it? This is just a summary, and we're going to give more information during the presentation, but we want to facilitate the interests of the young people to the job market, to labor market, with better job opportunities. Because we believe that if they have better job opportunities, they will earn more money and reduce the inequality in Brazil.
We also have a communication plan. We communicate this to all the companies to make the project know. Also, we have to communicate to the employees together with our project. And of course. Impact to close. First, come to learn the best possible with the resources already at hand. The qualities in this country. If you like, we can start this project by Monday. So that's us, and that's all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Better than and based on the sentence that we world. The entire world, let's focus in the different. So, from education level, see that 5 out of 10 of schools without in students perform below OECD average. And it's linked also to our poverty situation. When it comes to poverty, today we have 19 million people starving, and we have also 130 million living with food insecurity. Food insecurity basically means that they don't know if the next month they will have enough money to buy more food. So we know that both of these points are linked, and for a good surprise, Dutch government understand it like us. We see that in the Dutch government side, they mention that combating by through education, we can combat the poverty. Thank you. Yes, by a program, I would like to, I'll have to introduce it right now, called the Orange Path. Prepare low-income students during its high school path to reach the university and become SDG-oriented leaders and lifelong learners. Because we believe that by preparing these students to become future leaders, they will generate a virtual cycle and have a huge impact and plant the seed that will grow and make Brazil and the world a better place.
We will be able to grow in a sustainable way. It means that with our adjustments, after a succeeded implementation of after the first graduation, we can expand our program. It means that we can expand the number of students, or we can expand in terms of scope, for example, so we can start to accompany these students also at the university journey. So in the end of the day, we understand that the sky is the limit. So we can really expand this project. And here it's really important that decision is to start small because we want to be consistent, right? And it's because we really believe in this project here that we have the honor, right, to official launch this program today for you. That's the Orange Path, promoting lifelong learning. And obvious, as we mentioned at the beginning, together we can make the change for Brazil. So, who wants to build this Orange Path? I want. So, thank you very much for your attention. And
so, guys, today we present our cherry project for the Orange Academy 2022. But before we start to talk about the project, I will share two real stories with you guys today. The first story is about Tabata Alves, 25 years old. Tabata was born in the Paraisópolis favela. She was raised by the mom. When Tabata was 15, her two brothers were killed by the drug cartels. Tabata had a very difficult life. However, she had a dream. She wanted to be an economist. Tabata always has been fascinated with all those numbers, index, and she, between handling with work and studies, Tabata was able to be approved in a university, supported by a philanthropic initiative of the government called ProUni. So at that moment, Tabata started to consider that maybe his life started to turn around. However, then some problems started. Tabata took 2 years to find the first job. And today, she holds a secretary position in a very small family business. And here is some of the feedbacks
that Tabata has received doing this research. Oh, but you don't speak English. Yeah, we hire another guy. He's a friend of the director, was indication. Yeah, you need to have a better close work here. But you live too far in the favela. How can I be sure that it will not be delayed every day? So the story of Tabata represents an example of prejudice and discrimination of young students from minority groups that you try to find the first job. And next to Tabata, I have another real story from Solange, also known by Saul, 52 years old. Like Tabata, Solange has born in the Paraisópolis favela. She has raised alone 3 kids and never could study properly. Saul had a dream, and different than Tabata, Saul wanted to have her own business. And then after some money raised in the community, Solange started to make and sell cheese bread to make some money. However, after a couple of months running the business, Solange started to struggle with all the complex aspects of entrepreneur. And here's some quotes of Saul at that time. Well, where's my money? There's no money left after a good month of sales. How can I register my company? How can I be formal? How can I choose a credit card machine? And how can I make an Instagram? And all those aspects make Solange a very difficult business with the cheese spreads. And with that, I'm glad to present the project Taboo. Taboo stands for Talent Academy and Business University. And Taboo is a project divided by 2 initiatives. The first one, the Talent Academy, is really an inclusion program focused on minority groups and people from vulnerable areas and with low income, students in university like Tabata, that will give an opportunity to spend some time in a company, in a project of more or less 3-4 months, executing some real project in this company. Also, in the Talent Academy, the students will have an opportunity to be coached and mentoring by the professionals of this company, and as consequence, we can create a talent pipeline and a network for these people that really need. The idea of the Talent Academy is really to create the foundation for the future, to avoid that people like Tabata end up to hold a position much below what maybe she deserved with the economics degree.
Yeah, to build our case, we gather strengths from our different backgrounds to create a powerful proposal for you. We focus in answer the central question, how can Dutch companies help driving Brazilian youth employment? To present our case, we divide our presentation in 4 chapters. So let's start with diagnose and goal settings. First, we have to talk about our SDG, the number 8. Number 8 is promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. And why we get this SDG? Obviously, when you look at the 17, we could choose any of them because all of them is important, yeah. But when you look at the numbers of the jobs lost and the students who young who don't study or work, it's huge. And regarding these students, these young, we would like to talk about the challenge of Brazilian target school, the largest generation of young people. So when you look at the numbers, we can imagine what will happen if we don't do nothing. 1.5 million is out of school. More than 5 million didn't participate in any kind of activity school during the pandemic. Almost 12 million is in real poverty now. So the most affected are the most vulnerable, such as blacks, browns, and others. And the inclusion of these young in vulnerable situation in the labor market is essential for a significant reduction in social inequalities in the country.
Sandy, can you keep it?
So just a little bit of our calendar. We have a low cost of investment. Basically, the investment that we're going to have is to develop the platform with testing, development process, and we have a projection that the first quarter of 2023, we can have the platform launch with the first Yoppers being developed. And in this period, we are going to be working the platform development, the confirmation of Dutch companies being participating in this project, and our communication plan to effectively getting to the public we want to work with. And when we look at the benefits of Dutch companies, we have first things that Dutch and its companies are going to be pioneer by building a shared knowledge hub. We're going to integrate a whole ecosystem of qualified content from Dutch companies, endorsing the Dutch culture integration by training and sharing values of this more diverse and inclusive workforce that we want to build. And this will foster us to make a more inclusive culture where everybody are ready to be empowered and have the sense of ownership to promote real inclusive and innovation in all projects the company are leading. And of course, contributing to the SDG that we chose, that is the 8th one, regarding decent work and economic growth, because this we will understand that, of course, we are going to make a huge contribution to the families, to the future, and it is strategic. It's not a social demand, but it's a business demand in one of the most challenges that companies today are facing. So we are here and we want you to be part of this project that we create together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isabella.
They were asked to write what is the impact you want to make for the future of Brazil, providing their vision and concrete action plans towards a more social and responsible business for Dutch companies in Brazil. Finally, Team Cherry, the group with a project focused on decent work for all in Brazil, won the CASE 2022 challenge and received a ticket for the talent trip to the Netherlands in September of this year. Thanks to the support of KLM, the winning team of last year, together with the winning team of this year, will fly to the Netherlands and visit Rotterdam, Den Haag and Amsterdam. A great closing of an amazing project at Dutchem. We would like to thank all of our talents, the Orange members, the Dutch ambassador Mr. André Driesen, and our partner of the Rotterdam School of Management, Erasmus University in Rotterdam, for making all of this possible. Looking forward to a new edition of the Orange Academy in 2023.